You join us today in Malaga, Spain for the 2025 European Open Classic Powerlifting Championships. We will get on with the flight very shortly.
Powerlifting is a sport composed by three main disciplines called lifts. They are in order: squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. Each athlete has 3 attempts with 1 minute per attempt to start the lift. There are 3 referees, and each of them give a white light in case of a good lift and a red light in case of a no lift.
The athletes are separated per weight, age and sex category. The sum of each of the best attempts per lift builds the total, and the athlete with the bigger total is the winner. In case of a draw, the lighter lifter wins.
The squat is the first movement of the competition. On that lift, the use of the legs and the back is extremely important. Once the athlete stands erect with his knees locked and the bar on his back, the central referee gives the squat command. The lifter then bends his knees and lowers his body until the top surface of the legs at the hip joint are lower than the top surface of his knees. He then comes back up, locking his knees and hips in order to complete the lift. The central referee will then give the rack command, and the athlete has to put the bar on the squat rack. There are 3 main mistakes to avoid in order to not have a no lift on the squat. First, if the athlete isn't standing erect with his knees locked at the beginning and at the end of the squat event. Second, if the proper competition depth isn't reached at the bottom of the movement. Third, if the athlete doesn't complete the lift with a single upward movement, meaning if the bar goes down during the ascent of the movement.
We now head straight into the 93 kilo and 105 kilo A group for the men. We saw the B group and C groups earlier on in the day. I'm Emilia Potter, joined by Alexander Nodin.
So pleased to be here with you for what is possibly the most anticipated flights of the championship.
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal. We have quite the battle coming up in both flights. We have some absolute titans against some new young guns coming hot and heavy into the sport. And it looks by the running order that we have some huge numbers, some 290 kilo openers, European record belonging to Gustav Hedlund from Sweden of 331 kilos, who's not here to defend that today. Excited to see where we may end up on that top end of squats.
And as you can see, the crowd is ready for the flight. A lot of supporters from multiple nations in the crowd. Obviously, the first one to open is a Spanish lifter on the home soil.
Yeah, and
the crowd is roaring.
They absolutely are, and you can see why. We're here in Malaga, Spain, and Mario Montano Camacho is coming out first for a big 265 kilo opener. And he has support from the crowd from the get-go. That's a lovely, easy opener for the Spanish lifter.
Yeah, 3 white lights. I mean, support does play a role here. It was lightning fast for the Spanish.
Yeah, textbook squat there, just deep enough. What we're looking for squat depth is we want the hip crease to go below the top of the knee joint. Parallel is not deep enough, so we'll keep our eye on that as we move forward to our Dutch lifter, Richard van Bezuyen, 275 kilos. A decade of competitive experience.
Great tension all the way down. Another textbook opener.
3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, we'll see a few different styles of squats as the day goes on, I'm sure. This lifter adopting a very controlled squat, maintains the speed all the way down and on the way up. We will see some squatters who maybe dive bomb a little bit into the hole. Just a different style, really.
Absolutely. Different stances, different hand grip positioning.
We have Sletten of Norway, 275 kilos. Opening just 15 kilos below his personal best. Seems a little way off now, but that really could just be one jump.
Absolutely. It could be.
Another comfortable opener, 3 white lights.
And 275 seems to be a popular opener for these 93s.
Loaded, 275 kilos, William Pickering, Great Britain.
Yes, as you alluded to before, 275 kilos remains in the bar for William Pickering of Great Britain. Will Pickering known for bringing a lot of intensity to the platform.
This is what we love to see. Genuine emotion on the platform. A wider stance for William. In flats. Squatting pretty upright.
Yeah, it's a lovely looking opener. A little wobbly at the top, but that shouldn't cause him too many issues in terms of lights. And it doesn't. 3 white lights, a good lift. As you mentioned before, a slightly wider stance than we generally see. But it seems to work well for him.
And we can still see depth very clearly. Elbows not getting in the way of the referees.
Bar is loaded, 280 kilos to Silmaris.
Silmari from the Netherlands, 280 kilos for his opening attempt.
The Dutch record holder of the squat event. Looking to set the tone with this opener.
Let's go, come on!
Each athlete with a minute to get the start command from the center referee.
Lovely.
Very comfortable opener, and it is a good lift, 3 white lights.
285.5 for Christian Ayandokun, Great Britain, Biden and Sedlacek, get ready. Bars loaded at 285 kilos for Christian Ayandokun, Great Britain.
Christian Ayandokun of Great Britain, now the favorite to win the class. Considerable lead on nominations. 285 kilos for his opening attempt. The personal best of 313.5.
Maybe one of the lifters you were alluding to earlier. You'll see the speed on the eccentric.
A little trickier than we would be expecting from Christian, but
Yeah, I would agree.
it's a good lift, 3 white lights, and perhaps a small conversation with head coach there to discuss perhaps a different jump than they were anticipating.
Absolutely, especially in this position, you need to adapt on the day. Play the long game for the title.
At the same time, could be something he can fix up for that second. We'll have to wait and see. We have Rico Baden from France, 290 kilos for his opening attempt.
He recently switched from heels to flats. Let's see how that impacts his squat.
Also fresh out of the juniors, 24 years old. That is lovely. 3 white lights, a good lift for Rico.
Good lift, 3 white lights.
Yeah, he
And
seems in great shape.
when Alex talks about heels there, of course we're not talking about stilettos of any sort. Some lifters you'll see will have special squat shoes with a small platform just at the back to help them with a bit of depth or ankle mobility. It's a preference for each lifter which they prefer.
Yes, it usually makes for more knee flexion and more of an upright positioning during the squat. It is up to personal preferences. You need to adapt that to the levers. The bar positioning
Last lifter in round 1.
is very up to the lifter to choose whatever shoe and stance he wants.
We now have our final opening attempt with Jakub Sedlacek of Czechia, 290 kilos. Very upright squat there from Jakub, and unfortunately not just deep enough. And before we got the lights there, I was going to say he squats very similarly to that of an equipped lifter.
Are you ready, España? 280 kilos on the bar.
The jury will review that.
This is the side he got a white from, so obviously it is arguable from that side.
Madden from the B group still leading ahead with 307.5, followed by Santos and Blackmore, also from the B groups earlier today. We now head into the second round of squats. Sedlacek, of course, needing to make that second attempt. On home soil, Mario Montano Camacho from Spain with huge support from the crowd. 15 kilo jump to 280 for his second attempt.
Should be doable. His first attempt was lightning fast, and we are still quite far from his registered personal best of 300 kilos.
And there we are, the Spanish constituency in the crowd cheering him on.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but the silence during the eccentric and the roar of the crowd as he pushes the bar up. That's amazing.
Bars loaded, 285 kilos for Trygve Sletten.
Trygve Sletten from Norway, 285 kilos, a 10 kilo jump from his opener, leaving him just 5 kilos shy of his personal best here on his second attempt. Another potential contender for podium here in Sletten.
Yeah, the top 6 could make the podium. It's going to be a fight all afternoon long.
That is a good lift, 3 white lights, still looks fairly comfortable for him as well.
Yeah, this wants to gauge what he has left in the tank for today. At least 5, maybe 7.5.
Yeah, and if they're fighting for podium, they're not going to want to take the risk in jumping a little too far. Richard van Bezuijen of the Netherlands taking a 12.5 kilo jump to 287.5 for his second attempt. Certainly slowed down. Much more work than his opener, but it looked pretty textbook.
I agree. No technique breakdown, but definitely more difficult.
Yeah, I would imagine to see perhaps the smallest increment of jump at absolute max 5 kilos, but he's certainly getting to the end of his tether there.
Yeah, no point in getting 5 more kilos in the squat if you lose 10 kilos in the deadlift.
Absolutely. Jakub Sedlacek now from Czechia. Missed his opener on depth, 2-1. Retaking the same weight, which seems smart to me here. You want to get a squat on the board. He has to convince at least one more referee that it is a good lift, preferably 2 more, so it can be untouched by the jury, who would have to be unanimous in any case to turn it over. Still very, very strong. Is it deep enough?
Bit of suspense, but turns out it is 3 white lights, a good lift.
And he can breathe a sigh of relief. He is on the board and can now build into his third attempt. That was clearly still very easy for him. I'm expecting a pretty decent jump. Sil Maries from the Netherlands, 292.5 kilos, a 12.5 kilo jump for the Dutch lifter.
And for those at home not very familiar to powerlifting, Emilia, what's that white powder on his back?
So what you see there, we have chalk. You normally see that during the squat and the bench event for grip. So just helping the bar stay in position there on his back. That's a lovely second attempt from Sil.
He's looking strong in the squat event. 3 white lights and a good lift.
Later on in the competition, when we get to deadlifts, you'll also see white powder on the legs, which would not be chalk. It's not one you want to get mixed up with the chalk either.
Absolutely not.
That'd be talcum powder to help the bar glide up the legs, where it may get a little sticky on the skin. William Pickering from Great Britain, 292.5 kilos on the bar. Just 7.5 kilos off his personal best of 300.
It's one of the biggest jump of the A group.
Yeah, 17.5 kilo jump here. Gives himself a minute to have a word with himself, get himself 100% ready. It's an immense amount of weight on his back.
Yeah, you really want to repeat what you do in training. Don't rush the routine.
And again, slowed down, but no breakdown whatsoever. The bar kept moving, and it looks good, and it is.
Yeah, it looked like a fair second attempt to me.
Also from Great Britain, will be followed by Rico Baidal and Montano Camacho as we go to round 3. Bar is loaded. 297.5 kilos for Christian Ayandokun.
Christian Ayandokun from Great Britain now. Our penultimate second attempt, taking a 12.5 kilo jump to his second, to 297.5. So perhaps believes he knows exactly what went wrong on his opener and can add these extra 12.5 kilos.
So do you think that was the jump planned, or was there any modification?
I imagine it's slightly lower than the planned jump,
Yep, I would agree.
but still a decent sized jump. Let's see how this
Absolutely.
moves.
And
Yeah,
that looks more like Christian.
that is worlds better. You're absolutely right. That's the Christian we have come to know after the last 9 years of competing. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights. Let's have a look at that again. Something definitely changed, whether he was just more tuned in or something slightly technical.
It was not as tempoed on the way down, but that looks more like what Christian does usually.
Absolutely. Our final second attempt now, we have Rico Biden of France, taking a 12.5 kilo jump to 302.5.
That is very close to his personal best of 305 in competition.
This takes him immediately into silver position on squat for the time being, just behind Cian Madden from Ireland from the B group, with the third attempt to follow. Still so fast. And 2 to 1, a good lift. He does get pulled on depth from the far side, so we'll have a look at that side again in the replay. Like I said before, looking for the hip crease to go below the top of the knee joint. And it's
What
just
do you
so
think,
fast.
Emilia?
It's so fast, it's so hard to tell in that moment. The jury are discussing it, but we'll have to wait and see. We head into the third round of squats now as you hear the crowd go crazy. Cian Madden still leading from the B group. Mario Montano Camacho from Spain coming out for a 12.5 kilo jump to 292.5.
And the lift will stand for Rico Baden. Wow, we love the energy from the crowd.
That's a great final attempt, Mario.
And that crowd surely helps.
And you can see how excited he is. Like you said, how could you not stand that back up with that kind of support?
I mean, that's at least +5 on your total, right?
Absolutely.
Bare minimum.
Richard van Bezuijen of the Netherlands, 295 kilos, leaving him just 2.5 kilos shy of his personal best. But it is so important to take what you have on the day, even if it isn't necessarily what was planned. And with 10 years of lifting experience, I'm sure he knows exactly the jump he needs to make. And he does. That is a perfect call for the Dutch athlete.
And that was a much needed squat if he wanted to make a case for himself in the race for the podium. Nicely executed by the Dutch.
3 attempts to change openers, and the bar is loaded at 295. For Sletten, Norway, Maris Pickering, prepare.
Trygve Sletten from Norway, 295 kilos, 10 kilo jump, and this will be for a 5 kilo personal best. Like we said, another athlete fighting for one of those podium positions.
Yeah, he's nominated in 3rd position.
Every kilo counts here in a dogfight as big as this. Now, unfortunately, just got caught at that sticking point and failed quickly, which if you're going to fail and have the choice to fail quickly, conserve your energy, there are still 6 lifts left to go.
Especially with such experienced spotters, you know you're safe.
Loaded.
302.5 kilos for Sil Maris from the Netherlands, taking a 10 kilo jump from his second, and this moves him into squat silver for the time being, still with 4 lifters to follow. He is ever so slightly heavier than William Pickering, who is to follow with the same weight. Another great choice from the Dutch team there.
Such great technique, 3 white lights. And as you said, a provisional medal in the squat event.
Absolutely. It's a phenomenal effort. He's put himself in the best position he can to get that medal, but it won't go uncontested. William Pickering from Great Britain looking to knock him at least down to bronze, taking the same weight at a lighter body weight. If 2 lifters take the same weight and one is lighter, the lighter lifter will walk away with the position or the medal.
And looking at these 3rd attempts, you really get why these guys are in the A group. So technically sound, even when it's scrappy, they manage to pull it off.
This will be a 2.5 kilo personal best, so more than Will has ever lifted on the platform before.
Let's see it.
Fantastic effort from Pickering. Another great call from the coaching team, and 2-1, it is a good lift. Just gets a depth call from the center referee, but usually, and I'll say usually tentatively, when it's a call from the front rather than the side on squat, you're safe.
I think the replay does him justice.
Yeah, and it looks like the jury agree as well. It will remain a good lift, moves provisionally into silver. And now Christian Eindhoven from Great Britain, his teammate looking to knock him down to bronze with 305 kilos on the bar, 7.5 kilo jump. So I think playing it slightly more conservatively with squats today.
Yeah, because as we speak, it is still CM Madden from the B group in the lead with 307.5.
And that is a lovely final squat from Christian. And a good lift, 3 white lights. Like you said, as it stands, Cian Madden from Ireland still holding on to gold. And it looks like he might have secured a squat medal full stop, which is incredible to do. Like we said, hard to do from the B group, but not impossible. Jakub Svedček from Czechia, 307.5 kilos. We expected a pretty sizable jump here, and he has done so with 17.5 kilos.
Might be a case of covering some ground because he missed his opener. This might be a mix between his second and planned third.
Just a depth issue he needs to keep fixed. Almost a little bit segmented on the way down. Did he manage to find that depth again? Unfortunately not. Let's have a look at that again in the replay, Alex.
It really does look like an equipped squad. And the coach is rushing to the jury to see if he can make a case for that squad. They're discussing it, but I think it's going to be a no.
And the final squat of the 93 kilo men, we have Rico Biden, France, 310 kilos. 7.5 kilo jump for a 5 kilo personal best. Fresh into the opens this year. Looking to put some pressure on Christian.
He's a well-rounded athlete, but to create that massive total, he needs that third squat attempt.
Yeah, it is integral. It will give him an extra 7.5 kilos, which will be well needed come deadlifts.
Let's get this one. Allez, Rico.
Another fantastic effort from Rico. And 2-1, a good lift. Does get a depth call from the far side referee. I was a little worried that he was in pain, but I think just with that much weight on your back, it's probably not comfortable.
It's because in the past he got injured while re-racking the bar, so he's extra careful. But he managed to get that third squat.
And
310 for Rico.
Yeah, walking away with that squat gold. Rico Biden from France with 310. In silver from the B group, Cian Madden from Ireland with 307.5 kilos. And in bronze, Christian Eindhoven from Great Britain.
This is for Vladimir Mbassi.
Vladimir Mbassi, 275 kilos as we head into the 105s. Again, another huge battle, clashing of titans within the 105s.
This was the first opener, 275. Openers ranging from 275 to 315, Amelia.
290 on the bar now.
But that was a good lift for him.
Bar is loaded.
Looks fairly comfortable.
We have Corentin Clement from France, 290 kilos. Has been competing for 9 years. At only 25 years old, he was in the junior circuit for a long time and has shown some great longevity in the sport. Wow.
Fairly easy.
That's very, very comfortable. And 2-1, a good lift. Does get a depth call from the far side referee, so we'll have a look at that again in the replay.
This is the light, the side where he gets a red light from. What do you think of that one? It looked optimized. Could be 50-50. Jury's still looking at it.
We now have fresh new face to powerlifting, Regan Stegakis from Denmark, reigning junior world champion in the 105s, looking to fight with the older lifters here in the opens. Still a junior, 23 years old.
He's been looking so strong in prep.
Yeah, and it shows there with that 295. 317.5. Oh, and it's a no lift for depth. We have a look at that again in the replay. And now
I'm not really surprised.
let's have a look. And I've got to say, that puts a spanner in the work. He is neck and neck with Emil, and they're going to have to potentially go up. And it's risky for their second attempt, but they might have to go up if they want to stay on pace to fight Norling.
I think it looked fairly easy, so he might want to bump that up at least by 10 kilos to stay in the race.
Tony Johansen Amengual from Norway, 295 kilos. And again, another lifter struggling with the depth calls. We'll have a look at that again in the replay. Both side referees not happy with the depth.
And the jury immediately agrees, sending the coach off. This is not deep enough.
Yeah, it just lands the wrong side of the border there, unfortunately, for Tony. Now, 300 kilos for Ben Pape of Great Britain. The personal best of 327.5. No stranger to the international platform.
Yup, multiple great names in that flight of the 105s. He's no stranger, as you've said, to that international platform. And he's not an outsider for that race for the podium. A strong contender today.
Very clean, very easy, and like we were saying before, a lifter who's very quick into the hole, explosive out. 3 white lights, a good lift.
And the crowd is on fire for the home champion, Amelia.
Yeah, I'm sure you can guess what nation comes out next. Antonio Perez Barros from Spain, a phenomenal squatter. The personal best of 336 kilos, which is the current junior world record. Opening here with 300 kilos. First year as an open.
What can you say, Amelia? He's on.
Yeah, absolutely incredible from Antonio there. We wait for the lights. We've had some troubles with depth with some previous lifters, but this is a world record holder, and you would expect that he holds the standard, and he does. 3 white lights, a good lift.
There wasn't much suspense. If this is the support he gets for his first squat, you could imagine the third.
Timo Jacobi from Germany, 307.5 kilos.
Not rushing his setup. Making himself at home under the bar. Slow and steady walk out, settle, and receive the squat command.
Yeah, very, very comfortable. Plenty left in the tank there for Timo. And 2-1, a good lift. Again, just a depth call from that far side referee, which we'll see here from this angle on the replay.
I think it looked on the fence, but on the right side of the border.
Now have Emil Norling 315 kilos, a goat of the class. He is a favorite to win on nominations, neck and neck with Regan Stegakis, who is yet to have a squat on the board.
It's going to be a dogfight until the end. As you've said, such a goat, Emil Norling. Great squatter, amazing puller.
Yeah, and as in character, smiles on the way up. You'll get used to seeing that as the competition goes on. An extremely smiley lifter, as he knows how strong he is. And that concludes our first round of squats. There's that classic smile from Emil. You can see he instantly jumps into that bronze position with Celis and Chaliga from the B group still holding on to gold and silver as it stands. We now go into our second attempt with still 2 lifters yet to get a squat in on the board. Vladimir Mbassi from Switzerland with a successful opener, jumping 15 kilos to 290 for his second attempt, just 2.5 off his personal best.
Looking different, but still fairly comfortable. It might be due for a personal best here today.
Yeah, I can certainly see him having more than 2.5 kilos in him. I'd imagine maybe a 7.5 kilo jump for him.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Now, one of the 2 lifters without a squat yet on the board, both decided to go up, which in their circumstances, I can see why the risk is worth it here in the A group. And it wasn't a strength issue, it was just a depth issue, so hopefully something they can fix. Both of them have competed on the international platform before. Tony Johansen Amengual, Norway, 305 kilos.
That looks just about the same squat as his opener.
I'm
Will that
hoping
one
it's
pass?
Yeah, unfortunately 2-1 and no lift. The Norwegian coach goes to the jury. They review it, as will we, but they send him away. And it did look better. I've got to say, it did look better, but just not good enough for the referees. And the second lifter, Regan Stegakis from Denmark, still choosing to go up 12.5 kilos to 307.5 kilos. He's trying to face off with the GOAT Emil Norling, current junior world champion, a star on the scene. But
Yeah.
can he find depth today?
I think it was the right move. Nowhere else to go if he wants to fight. That looks deeper.
And it is 3 white lights, a good lift. He is on the board, and I'm sure can breathe a sigh of relief there. Let's have a look at that again in the replay. World's better.
Yeah, this is what a champion does. He adapts, he finds a way. Nice reaction from Regan Stegakis.
We now have Coco Clement from France, 315 kilos. 25 kilo jump from his opener. A very sizable jump, but justified. His opener was extremely easy.
Yeah, this is what he usually does in training, but he really want to pay attention to that depth. He received a red card from the left-hand side referee, making convincing Coco. From that side, it looks good.
Gets the rack command, and 2-1, a good lift. It's very hard for the center referee to see depth, especially in the style that Coco squats. He's very leant over, you can see here. But from the sides, you can see he just dips in to depth.
I would agree with the side referees on this one. It looked fairly deep.
320 kilos for Ben Pape from Great Britain. 20 kilo jump, and immediately jumps him into squat gold. With
Another
3 lifters to
sizable
follow.
jump.
Yeah, absolutely. But if this is what these lifters are used to, and you start to see these more in this area of weight class, the 105s, the 120s.
Yeah, it saves a bit of gas for that first squat.
Yeah, get that first squat on the board, make jumps from there. 7.5 kilos below his personal best.
Let's see what he has in store for us today.
Yeah, and that is still moving really well. Could be on target to get a PB or even match it. Does get a depth call from that center referee. Like we said before, usually if you get whites from either side, you're probably safe. And now we have Antonio Perez Barros from Spain taking a 20-kilo jump to 320 for his second attempt, 16 kilos below his world junior record. Now he's in the opens.
Yeah, the Spanish squat machine aiming to make a case for himself in the open.
And still moves with such speed. It is a good lift, 3 white lights, and still so much left in the tank. He says, run it back.
Load it up.
Load it up.
You see why he deserved the nickname of Squat Machine. He's yet to be in a difficult squat situation. Every time it is 3 for 3 and a new record. It won't be a new open record, but might be a personal best for him.
Yeah, the record currently standing at 370.5, belonging to Anatoly Novospieny.
Such a strong squatter.
Timo Jacobi now from Germany, 322.5 kilos for his second attempt, our penultimate second attempt. This will move him into squat gold, ahead of Perez Barros, heading into the third round, with Norling to follow. Wow, plenty left in there.
Was that an opener?
It seemed like it, yeah. So I imagine an equally sizable jump for his third. Completely justified if he does.
Yeah, he's surely in contention for the squat gold.
And our final second attempt before we head through to the third and final round of squats. Emil Norling from Sweden seems on good form today. Jumps 15 kilos to 330. Pacing himself to build a big total. Not looking to do anything extravagant on his second, but extravagant enough to move him into squat gold.
Yeah. It's good to see him healthy. We've seen him struggle in the past with his hamstrings, his adductors, but today he's looking good. How
There's that
about
smile.
for a second?
Yeah. Like I said, good to see him healthy, and he seems like he's enjoying the day as well, but the job is not done. 3 white lights, a good lift.
We love to see it.
305 on the bar for Tony Johannesson of Norway. He needs this to stay in the competition. Let's all get behind him and give him the
That concludes our second round of squats. We head into the third round. Emil Norling leading with 330 kilos, followed by Jacobi and Perez Barros from Spain.
And this one's going to be important, Emilia.
Yeah, this is needed to stay in the competition. Tony Johansson and Mengual stayed with 305 this time, needs to find depth. And it looks deeper. He stands it up, but are the referees convinced? Yes, they are. 3 white lights, a good lift. And
Finally.
I'm glad to see it.
It would have been heartbreaking to see one of the A lifters bombing out in the squat event. It is not the case, thankfully.
Absolutely. Vladimir Mbassi from Switzerland jumping 15 kilos to 305. Previous personal best of 292.5. So not just hitting that 300 kilo milestone, but surpassing it.
Is he going to be able to maintain his technique? He surely has the strength. Let's go, Vladimir, let's see it. Maintain.
Yeah, that is perfect. And like you said, he maintained that position so well, pushed through it, and is rewarded. You can see the patience he has here, pushing through that sticking point.
Bars loaded at 320 kilos for Stergakis of Denmark.
Now, after a sticky start to squats, Regan Sturgakis of Denmark missed his opener on depth, went up anyway, stayed cool, calm and collected. Now jumping 12.5 kilos to 320. This will be a 2.5 kilo personal best in competition for the athlete.
Yeah, I think that was the scheduled third.
Yeah, and he's going to need it if he wants to stay up with Emil Norling. This puts him 5 kilos behind on prognosis. Oh, and it is perfect. What a fantastic way to end squats if he keeps depth, and he does. 3 white lights, a good lift.
What an effort.
Yeah, and I think the best maybe of the 3.
It looked very good.
Bar is loaded. 327.5 kilos.
327.5 kilos for Ben Pape of Great Britain to match his personal best, as we anticipated. Moves him into squat silver for the time being, with 4 lifters to follow.
So not yet a guaranteed medal. He's been on point so far. Let's see the third. 1 point.
That is an absolute limit lift, but the right number. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights.
Yeah. The perfect call.
Yeah.
That was the perfect call.
Jacobi, Norling and Perez Barros to get ready. Bar is loaded.
Just 4 squats remaining in this 105 group. A 15 kilo jump for Coco Clement of France, and this moves him into squat silver, knocking Ben Pape down to bronze. Does not secure the silver or a medal, but he is looking for the extra kilos on his total, and he is looking so incredibly strong today.
Yeah, who would have guessed? Opening with 290. He might be ending up with 330, but he needs to get the job done.
Yeah, 40 kilo spread is incredibly impressive. And there it is, right on the money. And a good lift, 3 white lights for Coco. Provisionally moves into silver on squats and gains those 15 extra kilos, which puts him right in the running up there with Sturgakis and Norling, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he makes a strong case for himself here.
Timo,
At least in the race for the podium.
Yeah.
We'll see later on.
Certainly do not count him out. Timo Jacobi from Germany, 337.5 kilos to move him into squat gold, with Norling and Perez Barros to follow.
His second attempt was indeed very convincing, so that 5 kilo personal best could very much be moving.
He is lighter than Norling, so this will secure him at the very least silver, should he get it. So another 15 kilo jump here.
Half gets Timo.
So much
Wow.
power there. Absolutely
Yes.
incredible.
That was a powerful squat. How
Yeah.
about the lights?
Oh no, unfortunately can't be contested. Let's have a look at that again. I think I was just so amazed by the power. I didn't look at the, oh yeah, and you
Yeah,
can
we
see
have to read
there.
now.
Yeah, you can see that there in that angle, just above.
And since the referees on the platform are unanimous, the jury cannot intervene. It will be a no lift for Timo.
We now have 337.5 kilos for Emil Norling, currently sat in squat gold. This will give him a better chance of staying there with Perez Barros to follow. It's a 7.5 kilo jump. Like we said, he's not looking to get a PB today. He's looking to get as big of a total. He knows that Clement and Regan are breathing down his neck.
Yes, they are.
So he's looking to rack up all these kilos here. And there's the smile, as we've come to know and love.
What a lifter he is.
3 white lights, a good lift. quietly confident, I would say.
Yep. And now in typical Spanish fashion, Emilia,
Yeah, the entire crowd on their feet for Antonio Perez Barros, fresh out of the juniors, 340 kilos, 4 kilos ahead of his junior world record. Can't break that now as he's now in the open, but he is looking to move from 5th in squat into gold. And what an amazing finisher squat that would be for him to beat Emil Norling in the squat. 340 kilos, a huge amount of weight.
and he's used to closing out squat events, but doing so in the open for his first year. That is absolutely massive. 3 white lights for Antonio Perez Barros at home here in Malaga, Spain.
Absolutely amazing. Look at that squat again. I would love to see him at his full potential, because I don't think he's there yet. And looking at the board, Coco Clement from France in bronze on squat with 330 kilos. In silver, Emil Norling with 337.5. And Antonio Perez Barros from Spain in squat gold with 340 kilos. How incredible is that?
Sport that involves lifting the maximum weight possible in 3 different lifts: squat, bench press, and deadlift. The 3 highest validated scores are added together to determine the total score. Competitors are divided into a series of weight classes, from the women's under 47 kilogram class to the men's over 120 kilogram category. The squat is a multi-joint movement engaging the quadriceps, glutes, hips and hamstrings. The upper body carries the bar. American Jesus Olivares, weighing 186 kilograms, lifts 2.5 times his weight in a squat, which is 478 kilograms, equivalent to the weight of a show-jumping horse. Frenchwoman Jade Jacob lifts 188 kilograms, over 3 times her weight of 57 kilograms, which means she could lift a racing motorbike on her shoulders. With the feet stabilizing the upper body on the bench press is like a loaded push-up on your back, targeting shoulders, triceps, pectoralis major and anterior deltoids. In the lightest category, the women's under 47 kilograms, British woman Bobby Butters lifts 100 kilograms, equivalent to the weight of 16 racing bikes. American Jonathan Keiko, in the under 93 kilogram category, lifts 245 kilograms, 2.5 times his own weight, or the equivalent of the weight of a piano. The deadlift targets the abdominal, back and leg muscles, with the hips, quadriceps, hamstrings and adductors, especially in the sumo deadlift. Polish powerlifter Agata Sitko achieved the best performance of all time in the under 69 kilograms category by lifting 248 kilograms, which is 3.6 times her own weight, the equivalent of a pack of 3 rugby sevens players. In the men's under 74 kilogram category, New Zealander Timothy Monegatti deadlifts 331 kilograms, which is 4.5 times his weight, and the equivalent of 36 water packs. American Jesus Olivares lifts a total of 1,152.5 kilograms in his 3 lifts, equivalent to a Le Mans 24-hour car. Powerlifting is a quintessential sport of self-improvement and becoming the best version of yourself.
The bench press is the second movement performed in a powerlifting competition. It's a movement that mainly uses upper body strength. A slight back arch is authorized and allows for a stronger and healthier shoulder positioning. Laying down on the bench, the athlete has to create points of contact between his head, shoulder, glutes, and the bench. His feet has to lay flat on the ground, with the heels in the contact with the floor. Once that position is locked, the central referee gives the start command. The lifter lowers the bar until it touches his chest. The lower underside of both of his elbow joints have to be at level or below the top surface of each shoulder joint. He then has to stabilize the bar for the referee to give him the press command. The lifter has to push the bar back up until the complete extension of his elbows. The central referee gives the rack command and the lift is completed.
There are 4 main reasons to have a no lift on that movement. First, if you're not able to fully extend your elbows at the beginning and at the end of the movement. Second, if you don't touch the chest with the bar, or if your elbows don't go at level or below the top of your shoulder joint. Third, if you're not able to maintain all points of contact with the bench, knowing the head, the shoulders, and the butt. Fourth, if the lift isn't completed in a single upward movement.
What a phenomenal start to the competition that was, with the 93 kilo and 105 kilo men. Phenomenal squats. Just shows you how incredible this competition is going to be. And we set ourselves up now for the bench press portion of the competition, where by the looks of the running order, we have some huge benches in the house today.
Yeah, openers ranging from 172.5 to 202.5 in the 93s.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing some big numbers. Already seen some big numbers earlier in the B group, so set the bar pretty high as it stands. Had a good squat session with the 93s.
Yeah, we've seen the top lifters fight for their third attempt.
And it seems like there's going to be a big battle for podium amongst the 93s. A lot of people there, a lot of names in the hat.
Yeah, it's a very, very tight battle.
And it's just going to be a case of who can really make those lift. Christian has a very good lead, but it's not impossible to catch up. It's currently on prognosis, 20 kilos ahead of Baden from France.
And as Matt Gary would say, it's a race for the podium, a race to 9 attempts. So who makes the most attempt is likely to get a spot on the podium.
William Pickering from Great Britain, 172.5 kilos for his opening attempt. Very comfortable opener there. The good lift, 3 white lights, and it's certainly worth opening on every lift conservatively, or something you're very comfortable with, but particularly on bench, it is the most technical of the 3. It has the most commands, therefore the most can go wrong.
Especially, yeah, in the bench, you really want to get a feel for what is the rhythm of the chief referee. 3 commands, as you've said: start, press, and rack. Just follow the rhythm of the chief referee.
Trygve Sletten from Norway, 175 kilos for his opening attempt. Those 3 red plates either side.
Speedy off the chest.
And a good lift, 3 white lights.
3 white lights and a good lift.
There's more where that came from.
Maris, and the bar is loaded for Maris of the Netherlands. Van Bezuyen, Volcano, get ready.
$180 kilos in the bar for Sil Maris from the Netherlands, opening on his personal best, which is a little unorthodox.
Especially at that level.
Yeah, at this level with 5 years into competing. But I'll be very interested to see how this moves for him. I imagine it must be comfortable if the Dutch team have let him open with it. And it is.
A very justified opener. Seems like bench press training has been going well.
Yeah, and he looks even surprised with himself coming off the platform there with how well it moves.
Back-to-back Dutch lifters.
Yes, here does come his teammate, Richard van Bezuijen from the Netherlands, 182.5 kilos.
A bit more difficult, but still pretty fair for an opener. 3 white lights, 3 good lifts.
And who's to say what the style here is? It may be a case of opening a little bit closer to the top end and making small jumps. Still a lovely opening attempt. Our next lifter, as I'm sure you can tell, is a Spanish lifter, Mario Montano Camacho from Spain, 190 kilos on the bar. Just talking to the head spotter and loader there, how he would like his handout given. He requests some support from the crowd and he is met with the demand.
Don't blink.
It was so quick, you would have missed it anyway. 3 white lights, a good lift. That's a lovely opener there, as you can see.
Bars loaded for Biden of France, 192.5.
192.5 kilos for Rico Biden from France. Looking incredibly strong today. Has a personal best of 200 kilos, so again, opening very close to that. Expecting to see some progress here on the bench press as we did on the squat.
Great arch, great soft touch. And I know Rico is a very versatile bencher. He can bench on a lot of different pads. Very soft, very harsh, very versatile. 3 white lights, a good lift for Rico.
Yeah, and don't let the shaking of the bar's arms fool you, because it did not move like a man who was shaking.
Not at all.
192.5 remains for Christian Eindhoven, Great Britain.
Quick good luck fist bump after the end of explanation for Christian.
Has a personal best of 210 kilos. Like you said, he has a good lead, but not so much that he has the luxury of messing up, really. And that's a very clean opener.
Yep, not much more you can expect out of an opener. Very easy.
Now Pickering and Stratton to get ready as we move into round 2 after Jakob. This will put Jakob straight into bench press gold medal position as we exit round 1.
One last opener for the 93A group.
202.5 kilos for Jakub Sedlacek of Czechia.
2.5 kilos, Jakub
A huge
Sedlacek,
opening
Czechia.
attempt. The European Open record stands at 237.5, belonging to Bulgaria's Emil Krastev. Phenomenal bencher. This will immediately take him into bench press gold, even with all of the 93 kilo lifters who performed earlier today.
Nice tension on the way down.
And it is a good lift. 3 white lights. Immediately goes into bench press gold.
180 on the bar for Will Pickering, Stratton and Maris to get ready.
And we conclude round 1 of bench press. Sedlacek immediately into gold, followed by Carrison and Barone from the B group, still holding on currently to silver and bronze. William Pickering from Great Britain leads us out for second attempts with 180 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from his opener.
Yeah, he's looking maybe to pace for a match personal best.
Absolutely. I think they're trying to find as many kilos as possible. On nominations, Pickering was nominated in second behind Eindhoven.
Yep.
I think perhaps a slightly bigger fight today than they anticipated. Still moving well.
3 white lights and a good lift for Will. 185 on the bar, and the bar
That is a
loaded.
good lift. 3 white lights.
Norway, loaded for Norway. Manis, Van der Zuyen, get ready.
Trygve Sletten from Norway, 185 kilos, a 10 kilo jump from his opener.
This one's only 5 kilos shy of his personal best of 190. I'm not so sure. I think I might have seen a slight dip of the bar on that right side. No, I didn't. I didn't.
You did not. However, there was a yellow from the far side, so we'll have a look at that side angle. Usually that would mean there's a lifting. And did there maintain contact? There can be a lifting as long as there is glutes on the bench, and the jury unfortunately think there was a lift and it's been overruled to a no lift.
That light is well set up by the team here to create the best evidence possible for the jury.
190 kilos for Stiel Marius from the Netherlands. 10 kilo jump from his opener. This will be a 10 kilo personal best as he opened with his current PB.
And improving in the bench press event by 10 kilos is a lot. It looks like he has more than 10 kilos to offer.
Yeah, that is a phenomenal second attempt and the easiest 10 kilo personal best I think I've ever seen.
Bench is such a difficult lift to improve. Can't even imagine adding 10 more kilos on my bench.
Perhaps he went up a weight class is the only thing that I can think of could add so much to your bench so quickly. 190 kilos for Richard van Bezuijen from the Netherlands, a 7.5 kilo jump, leaving him just 2.5 kilos shy of his personal best.
A slow setup to activate his scapular chain. Retract and depress the scapulas for more stamina during the bench.
That's a good lift, 3 white lights.
That is a good lift, 3 white lights.
Okay, Spania, are you ready? 195 on the bar. Barrio, Montaño, Camacho.
Hopefully not too tanked from that big squat grind he had earlier. And And Spain's own Mario Montano Camacho takes a 5 kilo jump to 195. This will put it into bench press bronze for the time being, with Biden to follow.
It's a big bench, but perhaps a smaller jump that I could have anticipated.
Certainly could be one of those lifters who just starts to fall off very quickly. It's quick until it's not. Not every lifter has mastered the ability to grind. It's very hard to do so, especially on bench.
Very uneven stance of the feet.
Yeah.
And you were right, Amelia.
Some lifters just do really have it until they don't. It is a no lift, unfortunately, and I'll be interested to see if they decide in a few minutes' time to come out and try again or to leave it.
I think they will, especially in front of the crowd.
Yeah, and like you said, maybe that wasn't his normal setup. He was a little bit wonky with the feet. Rico Biden from France, 200 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump to match his personal best and take him into bench press bronze for the time being. Kicking Barone from Italy off of the podium from the B group.
Very controlled from Rico.
Yeah, a lovely soft touch there. Maintain control of the bar the entire time and really is rewarded for that. 3 white lights, a good lift, and honestly I could see another equal jump being justified. However, they are really pushing that podium spot, especially if Christian slips up at all, so they're going to want to just get what they can.
I think he said to the coach, I'm fine, look, whatever.
Well, we shall see. 7.5 kilo jump also for Christian Oyendoken of Great Britain.
And Rico has loaded 205.
Christian is heavier than Rico, so does not have that advantage, so this won't take him onto the bench press podium, but does keep him in the lead on prognosis by a good way.
He's also looking good.
Yeah, arguably quicker than his opener as well, which is a good sign.
Seems to be a trend for him. It was the case in the squat.
Yeah. Sets him up well for that third attempt.
Doesn't matter how you start, it depends on how you finish.
Now already in bench press gold, this will just further extend that. Jakub Sedlacek, 210 kilos, and looking at the third attempts, I believe if he gets this, he is safe with that bench press gold medal. Has a personal best of 225, so you'd imagine this is well within his wheelhouse. It is slow, but it is steady.
Yep, 3 white lights, a good for Jakub. And as you've mentioned, it is a guaranteed gold medal in the bench press event of the 93s.
That concludes the second round of bench. We head into the third and final round of bench for the 93 kilo men. Sedlacek in gold, followed by Carrison of the B group and Biden of France in the A group. As we head into our third round, Sletten of Norway looking to retake that 185. Locks it out one arm at a time, but manages to do so. And 2-1, a good lift. We'll have to check the replay, see if he managed to keep his glutes down on the bench.
It is not, because you see light that the point of contact is lost. I can see light under the arm strings, but I think he maintained contact with the butt.
Will Pickering of Great Britain, 187.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump for a 2.5 kilo personal best. looking to collect as many kilos as he can heading into deadlifts. He wants to fight for that podium position. Every kilo will count. And I think that was the perfect number, perhaps.
Yeah, a new personal best. 3 white lights.
And by the look of what he just said, it's been 4 years since he's PB'd his bench.
Oh, wow. That's one great reason to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Sil Maris from the Netherlands, 192.5 kilos, looking for the minimal jump of 2.5 for a personal best. It is well worth utilizing that 2.5 kilo jump, particularly if you are in the fight for the podium, as Maris is.
It's a fight.
And it's not quite there, but he got absolutely everything he could have out of bench press as he made the minimum jump possible.
Yeah, no regrets. And I don't think it was a technical issue, just a case of strength. So absolutely no regrets for the Dutch.
Yeah, well, he already opened on a personal best, so got a huge 10 kilo PB. 192.5 kilos for Richard van Bezuijen. Again, opting for the minimum jump, just as his teammate did. Will he be more successful? Let's find out.
Sounds like he won't be, unfortunately. No lift for Richard.
Similar story though, as I said before, he got everything he could have out of that bench.
Because as you said, 2.5 is the smallest jump you can make when it's not a European record or a world record.
195 kilos for Mario Montano Camacho. Retaking this after missing it on his second. It seemed like strength, although, as you said, his position seemed a little bit off compared to his opener. He screamed to the crowd, and the crowd reciprocate.
Yeah, I thought he was opting for more of a calm and collected approach. Turns out he's not.
He was calm and collected to hype himself up.
The way you approach the lift is so important.
I think that perhaps might just be his foot stance normally. Oh, wow! And with the support of the crowd, the unwavering cheers of Spain, he gets the lift 2-1, and we'll just watch the replay.
I think that yellow might have been for just meeting the command.
I think it might have been for glutes coming off of the bench, and the jury are discussing it and they are watching. But what an incredible fight to come back out after missing that on what seemed like strength.
Yeah, props to him.
Rico Biden of France, 205 kilos. 5 kilo jump to move him from bench press bronze into silver for the time being, with Ian Doken and Sedlacek to follow. Of course, Biden being lighter than Ian Doken, it will secure that silver.
So he already has a guaranteed medal in the bench press event, but we are yet to know the color of that medal.
A little
has
sticky.
it, yep.
Yeah, a little sticky towards lockout, but it's your third attempt. It can be.
3 white lights, good lift for
And it is a good lift. 3 white lights. Got, I think, absolutely everything he could have today out of bench. Not worth the grind when you have a big deadlift coming up.
Yeah, he's strong on 6 for 6. Great day for Rico.
And that certainly does put the pressure on Christian. If Christian gets this, he's still 20 kilos ahead leading into deadlifts.
Yeah, I think he has the advantage in the deadlift event being the biggest puller. But still, you really don't want to miss that third bench.
No, absolutely not. This will take Christian into bench press bronze as well with 205 kilos. 5 kilos below his personal best, so hopefully something he has within his wheelhouse.
Sounds very doable, especially judging by that second.
Loses his line a little bit, but bullies it up. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights, and absolutely the right call on the day.
Yup, just sticky.
If you look at that here, presses directly up, pauses in the middle, does not go down whatsoever, and is allowed to stop. It just cannot go down.
Yeah, a very precise call from the referees.
And now Jakub Sedlacek from Czechia already has bench press gold secured. Another 5 kilos here onto his total, 215. And it is a big fight, but it's not there today, unfortunately. He does not lose out, however, on that bench press gold. Just on those few extra kilos.
All right, folks, just give us a minute, and we will let you know what is being
And that finishes up the 93 kilo bench press. Very shortly, we'll be heading immediately into the 105 bench press. Sedlacek walking away with gold with 210 kilos. Biden in silver, 205 kilos. Just behind him on body weight, Ian Doken from Great Britain.
Bars loaded, 150 kilos, Tony Johannesson, Norway, Pellet Barros and Jacobi to get ready.
And we head straight into the 105 with Tony Johansen and Menguel from Norway. Had a tricky start to his competition, almost not putting a squat on the board, managed to get back just there on his third, 150 kilos on the bar for him.
It looks like we have a 70 kilo range of openers from 150 to 220, Amelia.
Wow, that is huge.
And looks like Tony went a conservative route.
Yeah, that was 62.5 kilos below his personal best, so perhaps dealing with an injury coming into the competition. We'll have to see what kind of jumps he makes. Now, the biggest opener does belong to the Swiss lifter Mbassi, and the current world record also belonging to a Swiss lifter, René Keiki, at 233.5 kilos. 167.5 kilos for Antonio Perez Barros. Ended with a phenomenal 340 kilo squat.
I think this is really the only lift where he lacks a bit to be a contender for that first position. Because he's so strong in the squat, he's becoming a great puller.
Which is crazy to say with a 167.5 kilo total, but bench, but you're absolutely right. And at 24, he has plenty of years for this to improve.
Yeah, still very much developing in the class. And that was pretty fast.
Yeah, just 12.5 kilos below his personal best as well. So he made gains in squat. I'm sure he's made some progress here in bench as well. Timo Jacobi from Germany, opening on 177.5 kilos.
Just a quick interjection from our centre ref to our excellent Spanish platform crew here. These guys and gals are world class, seriously. Credit to España.
A quick brush of the bar.
Yeah, again, just like deadlifts, it can be asked to be brushed down both the bench and the bar at any time. So
here
he comes, Jacobi from Germany, 177.5. has a personal best of 185 kilos. Taking his time there, has 23 seconds left on the clock to get the start command. Wow.
Great sink. Very explosive off the chest.
Yeah, and just like his squat opener, very, very comfortable for him. Now, a long setup like that is fine, but slightly risky because you are asked to re-rack and you have to do that whole setup again. You may run out of time, and I've seen it time and time again, but it seemed absolutely fine for Jacobi.
Yeah, but you're 100% right.
180 kilos for Ben Pape of Great Britain. 15 kilos below his personal best. Very explosive off the chest. Slow down a smidgen towards the top, but
This is what you would expect out of a narrow grip, I would say.
yeah, absolutely. And it also gives us just a bit of an insight of where it would slow down as it gets heavier. But saying that, it's a lovely, easy opener. Coco Clement of France, opening with 200 kilos. 15 kilos below his personal best. And if it's anything like squat, I think it will be pretty comfortable.
Another sink. And a bit of suspense with the lights.
From the angle I was sitting at, I couldn't see too much wrong with it, but I've certainly been surprised before. So I will wait to confirm that is a good lift, and it is. 3 white lights.
That's at least 2 white lights.
And that's a good side because Coco has had problems in the past with the butt lifting off the bench. Now he's on the board directly with this opener, which is a good thing.
Now also taking 200 kilos, Emil Norling of Sweden. 11 kilos below his personal best. So relatively close to that actually. Perhaps has made some progress on bench.
That
Amazing
would
to
be
see after
amazing.
9 years, yeah.
He's been elite for some long years now and still making improvements. It looks great.
Yeah, it's very, very comfortable, and I imagine we'll see him hit a personal best today on bench, and perhaps even on the total.
Imagine what could happen with a fully healthy Emil Norling.
Quite dangerous, I would say.
Oh yeah, scary sight.
207.5 kilos for Regan Stakakis of Denmark. As I mentioned before, the world record belonging to Rene Keiki of Switzerland, 233.5. I believe he did bench 232.5 in training recently, but I don't think the world record is on his mind today. I think what he wants to push is as high of a total as possible to give Emil a run for his money.
Wow.
And that's what you'd expect from a 230 bencher.
Yeah, no big deal. No biggie for him.
No biggie.
That was very impressive.
Yeah, plenty left in the tank. I think after the squat opener, just wanted to have a conservative opener. Now, Vladimir Mbassi. I mentioned before the current world record does belong to a Swiss lifter, Rene Keiki, but by the looks of things, the Swiss national record is higher than the world record at 234, which means perhaps Mbassi looking to push that today. The chip would help. He is fighting for a podium spot. 220 kilos, just 13.5 kilos off of the world record, and 14 kilos off of his personal best.
Yeah, Chip would be a strong tactical advantage in the fight for the podium. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. 3 white lights, a good lift, a very quick descent. I'm interested to see what his jumps are like and perhaps what kind of grind he has on bench. That concludes the openers with all lifters managing to get a bench in on the board. And Bassi shoots straight into bench press gold. Celis and Shilard from the B group still holding on, separated only by body weight with 210.
By the way, that lifter Ben Bassi's put him in the lead in bench press with his opener.
Tony Hansen Amengual from Norway, 170 kilos, a 20 kilo jump. We expected a pretty sizable jump there for Tony, perhaps just feeling it out today.
Yeah, we were suspicious of an injury of some sort. Could still be the case. Yeah, it looks pretty slow for someone that is used to benching 212.5. So surely he's gauging where he is on the day and benching what he can.
And he seemed a little bit tentative on the descent as well. Perhaps it's been a while since he's hit above that 200 mark, but it is a good lift. 177.5 kilos for Antonio Perez Barros, a 10 kilo jump and just 2.5 kilos below his personal best. So as we were saying, likely to hit a PB here on bench press as well, especially should this move well.
Significantly slower, but still pretty good for a second attempt. 3 white lights for Antonio Perez Barros.
Yeah, looks very strong. I'd say if they're looking to build the total, 5 kilo jump might be the safe option, but we're not sure what he's pushing, nor the grind he has in him today.
187.5 kilos, Timo Jacobi, Germany.
187.5 kilos for Timo Jacobi from Germany. 10 kilo jump.
This one's for a 2.5 kilo personal best. That's still very good.
Yeah, still so explosive off the chest. Very comfortable for Jacobi.
I mean, if that's a personal best, I'm gonna repeat myself, but load it up.
Ben Pape from Great Britain, 187.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Looking to pace himself here, perhaps to match that personal best.
That is pretty slow for someone aiming to pace for a personal best. And you mentioned that he might not have had the best prep.
Yeah, from what I've heard, he hadn't had the most amazing prep, but the squats were really strong for him, and I can't imagine him looking for another 7.5 kilo jump there, but just collecting the kilos he can.
I would agree. Take the smallest jump, collect kilos. You are very much in a fight for the podium. This is not the time to try and bite more than you can chew.
We now have Coco Clement of France, 207.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump. Just 7.5 behind his own personal best. Pretty comfortable second there for Coco.
And he does grind on bench, but this one's pretty hard to read. What would you add? 5, 7.5? I think 5.
I think the position he's in, the 5 is sensible to secure the kilos. But knowing Coco, I'm certain he has a grind on him if he needs it.
Yup.
210 kilos now for Emil Norling of Sweden. A 10 kilo jump and just 1 kilo below his personal best. So as we suspected, looking to pace himself for a decent-sized PB here.
Yep. If this one moves, there's going to be nowhere else to go than a personal best.
And it is good. 3 white lights, a good lift, and he seems strong and healthy today.
A great sight, seeing the top contender of the class looking so good.
217.5 kilos for Regan Sturgakis of Denmark. A 10-kilo jump, and this will take him into silver for bench press. As we head into the third round. Has a comp PB of 220. We know he's hit more than that in training, but it's about taking what you have on the day.
Apparently he has a lot on the day.
A right side referee, we still don't have your votes.
And we're just waiting on the lights there. I can't imagine too much wrong with it. Yep, and 3 white lights, a good lift. Pacing himself very well, especially after a bit of a sticky start to the competition in squats. Now our final second attempt, and it lands just 3.5 kilos below the world record belonging to another Swiss lifter. 10-kilo jump, 230 kilos. As I said, 3.5 kilos below the world record. He's already hit the world record on home soil. This will set him up nicely to break that long-standing world record hit by René Keiki when he was a junior.
Will Switzerland prove to be the nation of bench? The second attempt will give us a hint.
They seem to be.
Whoa.
It is a good lift, 3 white lights, and I have to say, after the opener, I was wondering if he had another 14 or so kilos in him.
This one was better.
It was much better, and it gives me a lot of confidence that we will see definitely a world record attempt and potentially a successful world record attempt very soon. Jonathan Selles of Belgium still holding on to bench press bronze with 210 in silver Sturgakis, and gold, of course, and Bassi of Switzerland.
Okay. So, first of all, I would like to thank Maniac Fitness for presenting this competition.
And as we can see here, so close to that world record 230. It's so, so exciting.
I'm still waiting on to see what ticket he puts in.
I can't imagine anything other than 234. It's his current personal best, but I don't think he cares about PBs when there's a world record on the line. And it's 234. René Keiki has held that bench for a hot minute, and it seems like Tony Johansson and Menguel is timing out. He put 2.5 kilos in, but it's a quick flight. He's doing the sportsman-like thing to do in a short flight, which is to let the time run out and let his competitors have an extra minute. He has the option to exit out, which is the sportsman-like thing to do in a long flight, but not in a short flight.
We like that kind of fair play. So that would be the first quote-unquote missed attempt for this A group of the 105s.
Yeah, absolutely. Antonio Perez Barros of Spain, 180 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump, looking to match his personal best. A very explosive lifter, so I think he's one of those lifters who is very quick on bench until he isn't.
Yeah, I think that was a sensible choice to make. Might be frustrating because his bench prep has been looking great, but you need to do what you need to do on the day to collect kilos.
And there it is. I think that was the exact right number for Antonio today.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift. And he builds onto that momentum with the squat, 3 for 3, now 3 for 3 in the bench press. He'll be in a good spot to fight for a podium spot. It's going to be difficult, very, very difficult, but I'm not buying the deadlift opener that he has put in, so I know he's better than this.
Timo Jacobi from Germany, 192.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump for a new personal best. And it has looked so, so smooth so far for him.
Let's go for 5 kilo personal best.
Wow. And it is so smooth. Got a very nice quick press command there, which is given when the center referee is happy and the bar is stationary on the chest. It is a good lift.
Yeah, I think he might have surprised himself here with that speed. Great third attempt.
Ben Pape from Great Britain, 192.5 kilos on the bar. 5 kilo jump from his second, leaving him just 2.5 kilos below his personal best. I think this is the number that we assumed we would see on the bar.
Yeah, and it might be a big ask considering how hard was the lockout of the second. But surely with the heart, it is there somewhere. Find a way, Ben.
He is pushing through. Wow, what an incredible fight. Just struggling with the lockout, and what a frustrating place to lose out on that bench, but he really gave everything he had to that.
Yeah, he was almost there, but just couldn't lock it out. I know he's eating triceps tonight.
That was my exact thought. Great effort, but not there. Coco Clement from France, 215 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump, and this will take him into bench press bronze for the time being, with Norling to follow at a lighter body weight.
We were hesitating between 5 and 7.5. He opted to go 7.5. Make it move.
It wasn't really even that hard.
Okay, Coco. Okay, Coco.
And I think that sets the tone very well for the deadlifts to come shortly.
Yeah, he's 6 for 6, which is quite a rare sight for Corentin.
So that sends him into bronze, and looking to take that from him, Emil Norling of Sweden, looking for a personal best, a 4 kilo PB, a 5 kilo jump, a bronze bench medal, and to keep building that total. Coco is very close now on prognosis, currently ahead.
Yeah, but we know Emil can pull pretty much whatever he wants.
That is a new personal best for Emil. Should that be a good lift? And it is.
I mean, making progress at that level is so impressive. Props to Emil. 2 more bench presses to go. Both are very important for different reasons.
Absolutely. Regan Stakakis of Denmark fighting for that top spot in prognosis, currently in second overall, in front of Norling, behind Clement. But like we said, they're all really quite big pullers. You cannot count Norling out. He is the front runner in terms of nominations. 225 kilos, a personal best for Regan. And a great call there from the Danish team. It is a good lift, 3 white lights.
He stabilizes the bar very quickly, which helps. He gets a fast press command and pull off a new personal best.
For a world record attempt for Vladimir Mbassi of Switzerland. Already has bench press gold, and the bar is loading!
Now for a world record attempt for Vladimir Mbassi, looking to take it off of his fellow Swiss lifter Rene Keiki. The current record stands at 233.5 kilos. It is the European and world record in both open and the juniors. This will take it from the opens.
And judging by the second, that could very much be possible. Come on!
Wow, and with ease, ladies and gentlemen, that is a new world record for Vladimir Mbassi.
Is this how a world record is supposed to move, Emilia?
Well, I look forward to seeing much more from him in the future. 234 kilos now, the European and world record bench in the 105s. Of course, Vladimir Mbassi takes gold with the 234. In silver, Regan Stakakis, 225. And in bronze on bench press, Emil Norling with 215 kilos. What a phenomenal way to end bench with a world record.
The deadlift is the last movement of the powerlifting competition. On that movement, the lifter's whole body is used and put to the test. The athlete approaches the bar once the central referee calls bar loaded. He then has 1 minute to start the lift. In the conventional or sumo position, the athlete has to pull the barbell until his shoulders, hips, and knees are fully locked. Once that position is assumed by the lifter, the central referee will give the down command. The bar has to be lowered to the ground without the lifter being allowed to drop it until it touches the floor, which completes the lift. At the end of deadlift, the powerlifting total is made, which determines the winner and final placings. There are 4 main mistakes to avoid. First, not locking your shoulders, hips, or knees at the end of the movement. Second, not completing the lift with a single upward bar movement. Third, completing the lift hitching at the legs in order to allow you to do so. Fourth, dropping the bar after the central referee down command.
We now head into deadlifts to find out who will walk away European champion 2025 in the 93 kilo class, in the 105 kilo class. And what a session it has been so far. Battles in both. We've had upsets in both, and wow, we are in for a real treat here. We know we have some absolutely huge deadlifters coming up in both class. So I think we're in for quite a turn of events in terms of perhaps nominations.
Yeah, I mean, none of the top contenders have been disappointing so far. Everyone's on point. We've seen world records. We've seen personal bests. It's going to be a good one.
Absolutely, and you can see here the top 3 openers, all at 325. Absolutely incredible there. I think it looks like Will Pickering has upped his opener from what it seems. I think feeding the pressure from Rico, as well as some of the other lifters there, like Maris, trying to keep that position on the podium. Preferably, I imagine, in his eyes, silver behind Christian Eindhoven. But a lot can change, a lot can happen. You know, we've seen lifters make mistakes before and fall completely off the podium where we thought they would win. So it is not a time to slow down, but a time to speed up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Christian will need at least 2 attempts to be safe in that deadlift event.
And he does really shine in deadlift, so I'm excited to see him do so.
Yeah, I feel like that title is his to lose. If he plays it safe, plays it smart.
250 kilos for Jakub Sedlacek from Czechia.
Quite far of his personal best of 295. Maybe a big jump enthusiast.
Important to remember as well, this secures the total, so worth opening conservatively if possible, but that looked like a reasonable opener.
3 white lights and a good lift. For Jakub, 290 on the bar.
It's a good lift, 3 white lights, and I don't think that was necessarily hyper conservative. I think that was just the number he had for today.
I would agree. It's not bad by any means.
No, not at all. 290 kilos now for Mario Montano Camacho of Spain. And we've heard the crowd go crazy for the 2 Spanish lifters thus far today. I cannot imagine how much the room will roar when we get to the 3rd deadlifts.
I think he regained a lot of confidence with that 3rd bench attempt after missing the 2nd. Let's see how he opens up deadlifts.
A lot of Spanish lifters carry the deadlift technique of a very snappy sumo lockout. Let's see if he is one of those.
He is. You know your game.
I've seen a few Spanish lifters in my day. That's a good lift, 3 white lights.
Bars loaded. 300 kilos for Rico Biden.
Down to one of the podium contenders, Emilia.
Yes, absolutely. Well in and amongst it. 300 kilos for Rico Biden. Currently on prognosis, 20 kilos behind Christian. But I am thinking this might be somewhat of a conservative opener. It's 25 kilos below his best, so it makes sense, but let's see how much he's progressed heading from juniors to the opens.
That was fast. That was very fast from Rico.
It was
Total
fast.
is secured.
He does seem to be somewhat limping off of the platform though, so I'm wondering what's happening there.
Yeah, I think he looks to be cramping up.
Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't affect him too much in the rest of the competition.
It looks like the calf.
300 kilos remains on the bar for Richard van Bezuyen from the Netherlands. Slow but steady opener there from Richard.
This is really where that baby powder, the talk comes in handy. It helps a lot to reduce friction on the thighs. It makes for an easier lockout.
Well loaded, 310 kilos for Silvaris, Netherlands.
Now Sil Maris from the Netherlands, 310 kilos, another contender for podium. $18 kilos below his personal best. Another very snappy sumo there.
Yeah, convincing opener. 3 white lights, a good lift is on the board.
So just for those at home who are a little newer to powerlifting, sumo here is where the legs are wider apart and the hands grip inside. And conventional is when you see their legs together and their hands gripping the outside of the legs, which I'm sure you'll see very shortly. Frig Versletten, Norway, 225 kilos, personal best of 350. This pulls him into provisional gold with Eindhoven and Pickering to follow. Oh,
The infamous speed wobble at the top of the sumo.
I've got to say, I'm not sure if it was a speed issue. It was quite a slow deadlift, but I think it was more of a balance issue, which is also pretty typical of a wide stance sumo.
And you can see all the colors. Red for lack of lockout, yellow for missing the down command.
Yeah, and it seemed like the bar just rolled away a little at the beginning as well.
Yeah, that might be the case.
325 kilos for Christian Eindhoven from Great Britain. Has a huge personal best of 357.5.
This wants to try and create somewhat of a gap between him and the podium contenders. But he'll need more than this one to be secure in first position.
Wow, and he looks pretty secure to me.
Oh yeah, he has way more than this, a lot more than this to offer today.
And that is a good lift, 3 white lights. And as you said, if he gets 2, he's in a pretty safe place there. And based on his opener, as long as he makes a sensible decision from his second, he should do so pretty comfortably. 325 kilos remains in the bar for Will Pickering of Great Britain. Has a personal best of 355 kilos, so another big puller here from Great Britain.
And he has body weight advantage against Richmond Baden from France.
Yes, and that might just come in handy when we get to the end of the session.
How about that, Amelia?
Very snappy, he says, give me more, put it up.
It's gonna be a dogfight for that podium.
It absolutely is. Will Pickering ending the openers there with all bar 1 lifter getting a deadlift in on the board. Not quite securing the total, but it is an important person at that. Sletten, who is fighting for podium in a precarious situation because too risky to go up as it was an issue in balance. You can see here the totals as they stand heading into the second round of deadlifts. Eindhoven 20 kilos ahead of Pickering, who is just ahead of Biden on body weight. As you mentioned before, it will be, as you said, a true dogfight to the end. Jakub Sedlacek from Czechia, 270 kilos, our gold medalist in bench.
Slow and steady.
3 white lights, a good lift, and a 20 kilo jump didn't slow him down too much. The benefit of a conservative opener there.
And that 20 kilo jump seems to be a popular one in this flight of the 83 A group, 93, sorry, A group.
Mario Montana Camacho from Spain taking a 20 kilo jump, like you said, a popular jump, 310 kilos, just 7.5 kilos below his personal best. You can see the coach just asking the spotters to pull the bar to the back of the platform.
A lot of emotions for Mario.
There we go, a little less snappy than his opener, but as to be expected, it is a good lift.
The thing is, I don't know what's left after this one for the third.
Yeah, we tend to see those with slightly snappier lockouts struggle with a grind. It's harder to grind in sumo anyway, generally, but interested to see, as you are, what he puts in the bar. Richard van Bezuijen of the Netherlands, 317.5 kilos, 17.5 kilo jump, leaving him just 10 kilos below his personal best. This will take him into 4th place overall, just a little way off those top 4.
It's a hard one.
Wow, did so well to fight through that. But I do wonder now what, like you said before, he has left in the tank. It is a good lift, 3 white lights. Conventional, slightly easier to grind through, as you can see there, but already that was a bit of a push.
We are now going to get answers about Rico's health. I think we saw him, what we think might be cramping.
Yeah, and I hope so. I mean, I don't hope he has cramp, but obviously it seems like the less serious of potential options.
Absolutely.
And he did jump 20 kilos, but I cannot see him in the wings, I have to say. The bar is loaded, and that makes me worried that perhaps he's not coming out at all. But it is a very, very fast-paced session, and so it could be completely possible that he is choosing to take the minute, instead let his competitors rest a bit more and take a few more minutes, maybe pushing it up further, but you know.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to rehydrate, mobilize. I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, but you've got to think as well that he might have to jump more than 20 kilos in order to stay in the race with Pickering, especially if Maris does push him from behind at all.
Yeah, it might be a case of saving some gas for that last deadlift.
Absolutely, and important not to forget about Sletten if he can make a big final pull, although I think unfortunately he may be a little bit out of the game for the podium, even if he can get a deadlift in on the board. Trygve Sletten from Norway, 325 kilos. Missed this on his opener. Just had a balance issue at lockout. Let's hope he can lock it out this time and keep in position until he gets that down command.
9th overall.
Balance it out. Much better.
Yeah, way better. 3 white lights, he's on the board. It's a good lift, but I fear it is a far cry from the podium now, as he had to retake the weight, which was the right decision. You definitely can't go up after a miss like that. Now a contender who is fighting for podium and puts Rico perhaps in some danger now. He's missed that second attempt. Still Maris from the Netherlands, jumping 20 kilos to 330, provisionally pulling him into silver ahead of Pickering, with Pickering still to follow.
Everything's yet to be decided in the 93 kilo class.
Three white lights, a good lift. Almost had some issues at lockout there, but I think he ended up okay.
It was questionable at first, but he seemed to be
Just continued
satisfying
through.
enough for the referees, yes.
Yeah, I think he just pulled through that little extra bit at the end. Our penultimate second attempt, Christian Iandokan from Great Britain, jumping 20 kilos to 345, takes him back into deadlift gold overall and continues to secure that European title. And I do believe if he gets this, it just is too far for anybody to catch him.
Yeah, I think this one seals the deal for Christian Ayandokun from GB. And I think he has more if needed anyway.
Three white lights, a good lift. I don't think he will need them, but I think he might want them.
I fully agree.
And I think that's a good place to be. Super clean looking second attempt for Christian.
At the moment, he's looking at top 3 in terms of best lifters, so he might be looking to surpass Kjell Egil Backlund.
Yeah, absolutely. Might be a bit of a big jump for him on his third, but he has the freedom to play around if that's what he wants to do over going for 9 for 9.
And just for the record, the best lifter as we speak is Are Omisakin from GB with 116.48.
Another 20 kilo jump to 345 here for Will Pickering. It takes him back into deadlift gold on body weight ahead of Christian, and back into silver overall from bronze ahead of Maris. Another clean looking attempt from Team GB.
I think he almost slipped there. Watch out, you have one more deadlift to go, man. He's looking strong. I think he has what he needs to at least equal his personal best of 355.
Yeah, and it's a case of who can really put that larger third attempt on between him and Maris. It looked like Pickering had a lot left in the tank there, but we'll have to wait and see as we head into third deadlifts. The total as it stands, Iandokan 20 kilos ahead of Pickering. Pickering and Maris separated by 12.5 kilos currently. Jakub Sedlacek from Czechia, 280 kilos for his third and final attempt.
And this one will stay stuck to the ground. Out of gas at the end of the competition. It happens after giving all you've got for 8 attempts. That last one could be too difficult.
$315 kilos for Mario Montano Camacho from Spain. 5 kilo jump. And the crowd go wild. I can't hear myself over how.
The crowd's on their feet.
Yeah, they are yelling for this final pull.
And this is the powerlifting we like. We might see a lifter surpass himself. We've seen him struggle with that 310, giving all he has for a second. 5 more kilos might be a tough ask, but we'll see. He's pulled more before in his career.
Wow, he keeps pulling through, but it is just too heavy for him. And we've seen an attempt change come in, which I'm keeping my eye on the board for. It looks like it's from Rico. He is upped it to 335. So it looks like he is coming out. 335 generally would be within his wheelhouse. What I'm worried about is now instead of a 20 kilo jump, he's had a bit of a longer break, yes, but now a 35 kilo jump. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out for him.
Friends playing the game.
Yeah, and they are hoping that will be there, and they'll probably wait to see
if Mr. Silmaris drops his attempt also.
Yeah,
I don't think he will.
No, he's currently lifting afterwards, so time will tell. Richard van Bezuyen of the Netherlands, 322.5 kilos.
Not today.
No lift on Bezuyen, I'm sorry. 335 on the bar. Rico, Biden, France, Latin, Harris, Iron, Dalton, and Pickering to get ready. This is for provisional deadlift bronze and provisional overall silver for Rico.
And I can now see Rico Biden in the wings. He took that extra break, has upped it 15 kilos. In case you were away, he didn't come out for the 320. This is to pull him into deadlift bronze, but more importantly, onto the podium into silver for the time being.
And this makes you wonder, is it a Hail Mary or were they playing games? 335 for Richmond Baden, aka Rico, for 850 total to go from fourth to second position overall for the time being.
Not only is it a 35 kilo jump, it would be a 10 kilo personal best on deadlift for Rico. It really is an all or nothing situation. And he managed to lock it out. It looks like he held on to it for long enough.
Looks like he's cramping up, but
Three
he
white
gets the
lights,
deadlift.
a good lift, and the pain seems worth it. He gives a kiss to the crowd, and he moves into the silver position overall.
And the cramp seems worth it.
335 on the bar for Trygve Sletten.
He's going off with a yeah, he's going off with a smile though, which is what it's important. He is okay, just suffering with a bit of cramp there.
This is what going out on your shield looks like.
Absolutely. So provisionally in silver now, with Will Pickering still to have the last laugh. Trygve Sletten now looking to take a deadlift bronze with 335. This will be on body weight ahead of Biden. Looks like he holds on to it. Three white lights, a good lift, an attempt change from Sil Maris, I believe.
345 kilos to Sil Maris of the Netherlands.
He's dropped his attempt by 2.5 kilos.
Yeah, it looks like he's not looking to chase the podium anymore. Oh no, he is. This is to pull him into bronze. Everything is jumping around so much. We knew it would be a big fight towards the end.
Yeah, this wants to surpass Pickering for the time being, but William Pickering will be pulling last.
Yeah, and I imagine Team GB are watching in the wings to see if they can drop. And 345 kilos, a 15 kilo jump, a 15 kilo personal best should he get this, to move into deadlift silver and bronze overall for the time being.
This wants to force the hands of his opponents.
Oh, and he does get it moving, but he seems a little glued, but he keeps pushing through and loses grip. That is such a shame because the bar was still moving.
That would have been a crazy grind, especially for a sumo deadlift.
Yeah, let's have a look at that again. His grip gave up before he did. That is such a shame, but as a result, it looks like Pickering is safe on the podium, but he wants to push to match Biden's total with a lighter body weight. But before that, really, at the end of the day, ended up somewhat uncontested. Christian Ayendoken from Great Britain, your 2025 European champion, 352.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump to pull him into deadlift gold for the time being. And I want to see what this does to his GL points as well.
I don't think that'll be enough for Kiel.
Oh, and that is a lovely final pull from Christian.
Yep.
And a good lift, 3 white lights. A phenomenal competition from Christian, your new European champion.
Yeah, it is way too far for William Pickering to increase his attempt to try and grab Christian's first place. So he will be taking a shot at Rico Baden.
Yeah.
He's lighter on body weight. He needs to pull 360, a 5 kilo personal best.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever looking to chase Christian, but Silva is in his grasp, and he wants it. 360 kilos, as I said, to match Biden's total at a lighter body weight. Moves him into deadlift gold from Silva, but more importantly, from bronze to silver. Overall, the final pull of the 93 kilo class for Will Pickering of Great Britain. He wants support from the crowd.
Support he can get, yep.
And they give it to him. Oh, that is phenomenal. A 5 kilo personal best. Should that be good? And it is. 3 white lights, a good lift, and pulls ahead of Rico Biden of France into silver overall. And deadlift gold with a huge 360 pull.
Yeah, no regrets for Rico. He's had the best day he's ever had. Just cramping up at the end, but still managing to pull that last attempt. Nicely done by Pickering.
Yeah, and you can see here with that deadlift gold 360 in silver, and Doken with 352.5, and Sletton with the 335. Biden in bronze overall on body weight behind Pickering, and Christian Ayendoken, your new European champion. We now immediately head into the 105s, where I promise the battle will be just as exciting. Who will walk away European champion? Less sure though. It is a big fight with some big numbers already on that board. 305 for Antonio Perez Barros of Spain.
He bumped up his opener by 5 kilos. I told you I was not buying the opener, but I was expecting more of a bump. But we know he's used to big jumps.
Yeah, and in classic Spanish style, a nice snappy sumo. 3 white lights, a good lift, and I'm imagining a slightly bigger jump there.
Yeah, probably something along the lines of 325, 330.
Bar loaded, 320 kilos for Vladimir Mbassi, Switzerland.
320 kilos for Vladimir Mbassi of Switzerland, your new world record holder in the bench press. 234 kilos, absolutely massive.
Yeah, especially considering that it looks like he had more.
Ooh, yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that. No, unfortunately, that one was what it seemed to be a balance issue, a bit of a speed wobble at the top. Usually see that a little bit more frequently on sumo, but the strength is clearly there. He just needs to secure that total in his second.
Yeah, I think in that case, I would bump up the attempt a bit, maybe 7.5, 10 kilos.
I don't know if it's worth it when he's trying to secure that world record from his bench. He just wants to get that total.
You do have a point.
Timo Jacobi from Germany, 322.5 kilos. He's having a phenomenal day so far. A very quick lifter. Openers all very speedy so far.
And still pretty speedy.
3 white lights, good lift for Jacobi. 325 and a half for Ben Pate, Great Britain, Johannesson and Sterjakis, get ready. Bar loaded, 325 kilos for Pate.
325 kilos for Ben Pape of Great Britain. It's a personal best of 355. A lot of big pullers in this flight.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Very easy looking opener for Ben there.
Yeah, blink and you might miss it. It was very fast from Ben Pape. And I'm seeing something interesting. It seems like Regin Stargakis has lowered his opener.
Yeah, and Emil Norling has significantly bumped it up.
As expected. It was
Yeah.
330, now it is 342.5.
325 kilos for Tony Johansen and Menguel of Norway. Another big puller, a personal best of 360 kilos. The world record and the European record, of course, belonging to Sanchez Dillon of Great Britain with 400 kilos.
Perhaps the most impressive deadlifter of the EPF. Still some issues with balance.
Yeah, actually one he got for that downwards movement, and the other side just not happy with the lockout.
So some lockout or ramping possibly. 335 on the bar.
Yeah, I think it will stand as a no lift.
Yeah.
Especially judging with that replay.
335 kilos for Regin Stargakis of Denmark. He is certainly a big name on that podium.
Yeah, this one will give us a hint on how that battle for the crown will go in the 105s.
Has a personal best of 372.5. Wow. 3 white lights, a good lift, and I expect to see a hefty jump from Regin.
I'm speechless.
Plenty left in the tank there, and he's going to need it, as on prognosis he is still 15 kilos behind now Norling and Clement. And should Mbassi get his second attempt, he looks to be trying to chase him. 342.5 kilos for Emil Norling, a phenomenal deadlifter. Personal best of 380.
The way he just picks up the bar is so impressive. Let's see it, Emil. He just picks it up.
It's very casual. That would be the firelifter, the firefighter in him. There we go, it's a new name for him.
Just a thumbs up.
It's very, very casual.
The last opener.
And it belongs to France's Coco Clement, 350 kilos, a personal best of 365, and he is neck and neck with Norling on prognosis. Let's see in comparison how this moves as an opener. It's strong, maybe a little tougher than Norling's, but it is a good lift. 3 white lights.
This is just how he lifts. It looks fairly comfortable for Coco's deadlift.
And I imagine they will just be trying to hit the post. They have to deadlift or make a bigger gap on deadlifts, and he is lighter. But Emil Norling is so casual with how he's lifting. He's instantly in the lead there. Come on. That concludes our opening attempts. Mbassi and Johansen and Menguel still without a total secured. See, they are neck and neck here, Norling and Clement, followed by Stargakis as it stands. Antonio Perez Barros jumping to 332.5 kilos, a huge jump here for the Spanish lifter. And And
that is
still,
still pretty snappy out of Antonio Perez Barros.
he does get a yellow from the side referee. I'm looking at what that 3-4.
I think he might have dropped the bar on the way down.
No, I think it was a mistake. He's holding up his
okay.
white flag. I think he just,
Misclicked.
yeah. So yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift. I was surprised to see a yellow there.
Yeah. He's looking strong today for his first outing in the Opens.
Timo Jacobi from Germany, 337.5 kilos. This is just 10 kilos below his personal best, and based off his opener, it should still move relatively well.
Secure the yoke grip before trying to pull too fast. Timo from Germany, still pretty speedy.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift. It's a comfortable looking second. Have a look at that again in the replay.
He needs to put a total in to validate that record. The bar is loaded at 340 kilos. Rumbasi of Switzerland. Hey, Johannesson, get ready.
We can start to see where it gets difficult, but it is not yet difficult.
Now, I said it was well worth securing that world record, but it seems Mbassi has jumped 20 kilos to 340, and I'm hoping it works out for him.
Looks like it does.
Yeah,
A very confident athlete.
3 white lights, a good lift. And a risk is only stupid, I suppose, if it doesn't work out.
True. You have to know your game.
And that does put him on pace should Stagakis mess up, that he can push for podium. And he has the chip advantage. But that will have to wait. Ben Pape from Great Britain, 345, a 20-kilo jump. He's just 10 kilos below his personal best.
Oh.
I'm wondering what happened there. Perhaps a tear. Seemed like a grip issue of sorts. We'll have a look at that again in the replay because he seemed to drop it pretty quickly. I think not wanting to damage his hands anymore.
Yeah, he's still looking at his thumb in the warm-up room. That's a scary sight for a hook puller.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony Johansson at Amengrel, the second lifter who did not get their opener in, also jumping 20 kilos. Let's hope history repeats itself as it did with Mbassi. 345 on the bar. Immediately takes him to deadlift bronze. Should he get this? Another well-versed lifter securing their total. 3 white lights.
Seems like these lifters are very confident and they adapt, they correct. This is elite level of lifting, very elite. 3 more deadlifts in the second round.
Regan Stagakis from Denmark taking a 20-kilo jump to 355 kilos. Takes him into deadlift gold provisionally, as well as gold overall for the time being. Of course, with Norling and Clement both to follow, with some pretty huge deadlifts themselves. This is still near 20 kilos below Regan's personal best. He will load up if he needs to, and he might need to.
Yeah, I think he's just building up to a massive third.
There we go, and with that, he already gives himself a 900 kilo total, 3.5 kilos below his total PB. And bear in mind, he can break world junior records here today. The total record is his at 903.5, so it looks like that will be shattered very soon should he get his final deadlift. but he is pushed by two big names, Clement and Norling. Norling now out for 360 kilos for his second attempt to pull him into deadlift gold and back into gold overall from silver ahead of Stagakis. The 912.5 total.
And keep in mind that his PB is 380, so he makes easy work of that 360.
3 white lights, a good lift.
370 on the bar now. For Coco Clément of France, obviously this is your provisional deadlift and overall gold, exiting the second round. For Clément of France, bar is loaded at 370 kilos for Coco.
Next lifter out supposedly is Corentin Clément.
Yeah, we see Coco Clement here and 370 kilos on the bar, but it seems like perhaps France taking a similar route to they did with Rico. I think for different reasons. Rico's was maybe a little more forced. It seems like Coco is waiting to see what he needs to pull, giving himself more of a break. It's a very fast moving session, but it is risky, especially with people who can pull just as much as him, or even more with Stagakis and Norling both there. You know, Mbassi also looking to push the podium if he gets the chance to.
At least let's hope it's not for some sort of cramping, etc. And this is just some strategic play from the French coaching staff. But it could very much be. It's going to be interesting.
Timeout, no lift, Coco. Failure to get to the platform.
And that concludes our second round of deadlifts. We head into our third and final round. And what a round it will be. Some absolutely mammoth numbers we can see on the board there. I think perhaps a placeholder for Emil Norling with 400 kilos, but 375 for Stagakis, 365 for Johansson and Menguel. And at this point, with the strength of these lifters, it's so hard to tell what is a placeholder and what is not.
Yes. Can you imagine that the first one of the third round is 347.5 and the last one could be 400?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll see that 400 today from Norling. It would be a big ask to jump 40 kilos.
Yep. That
is the current world record held by Sanchez Dillon. And we've seen a drop again to 345 for Ben Pate. I think originally went up and decided to retake the same number. Probably smart if you're dealing with a hand issue as a hook grip pull-up. Hopefully he can hold on to it. This final deadlift.
I don't see any strap or anything around his thumb. So he might have to take the pain. Switch to mixed grip, but unable to pull through.
Yeah, just not there today, unfortunately, for Ben Pate.
He managed a great squat, but the rest of the competition was hard for him. But that doesn't take away anything from the caliber of athlete he is.
And we have just 7 lifts remaining before we find out who walks away European champion. And there are 3 names in the hat right now as it stands. Timo Jacobi from Germany, 347.5, a 10 kilo jump from his second for a matched personal best on deadlift and a 2.5 kilo PB on total.
Just couldn't quite lock it out. He was almost there for Timo. Just that final part of that conventional pull is so hard. It takes a toll on your grip, and unfortunately it gives up on the bar. No lift.
Now taking a 17.5 kilo jump in a final swing for podium. Vladimir Mbassi of Switzerland looking to pull into deadlift silver for the time being, still with 5 lifters to follow, yet to pull. This will pull him provisionally into bronze overall, with Coco Clement still potentially to come out.
.17.5 kilo jump for a 7.5 kilo personal best. And a massive PB total.
Yeah, great final pull there from Mbassi. And a good lift, 3 white lights. For the time being, pulls himself into bronze overall.
He's done his part.
And now all he can do is sit and wait.
360 kilos for Antonio Herrera, España.
The crowd start chanting for our next lifter. It is a huge attempt, 360 kilos, a 27.5 kilo jump for Antonio Perez Barros of Spain. And this is to pull him into deadlift gold for the time being.
It's amazing to see a whole country rally behind the lifter. That must give him so much confidence, so much energy. Time to prove that he made some improvements in the deadlifts. For a 10 kilo PB, a provisional gold medal position, Antonio Perez Barros.
14 kilo total PB if he makes this a huge stepping stone into the opens. And he looks like he can, if he can hold on to it. I'm a little bit worried about the lockout though.
Yeah, that right knee especially.
Unfortunately not. It was an ambitious jump. The strength will be there very soon, just struggling with that lockout position at the end. Sometimes lifters try to pull a little further back, but their knees suffer.
Yeah, it's a fake friend. You feel like your shoulders are more locked out, but the knees aren't. But great outing for his first time as an open lifter.
362.5 kilos now loaded on the bar for Tony Johansson Amengual. This will pull him into deadlift gold for the time being, and with some big hitters to follow, he could end up on podium if there are some misses. Norling, Stagakis and Clement to follow with some monster pulls. That is an amazing final pull. You forget 362 is in his hands.
Yeah, it's a good lift, but it looks like all 3 of the lifters to follow have changed their attempts. We have now 372.5 lined up for Emil Norling, 380 for Ian Stargakis, and 385 for Corentin Clement, which I'm expecting to be changing to match whatever's been pulled before him.
They still have a chance to change one more time, although Emil Norling does not have the chance as the bar is loaded. 372.5 kilos takes him back into deadlift gold and would give him a 925 total, which Stagakis is looking to match at a slightly heavier body weight, so they might want to bump that up if that is what they're going to put on the bar.
Yeah, he'll need to wait to see what Emil Norling does with that kind of weight.
He'll be hard to catch if this is a good lift, and it looks like it will be.
Okay, let's see those lights.
2-1, a good lift. He does get a blue from the far side. We see an attempt change. We watch the replay. We'll watch what the blue was for.
Yeah, we're going to take a peek at what the jury decides to do with that one. They are reviewing it right now. I think it was timed correctly with the down command.
Well, blue wouldn't have been for a down command, but the jury seem happy anyway. It stays as a good lift. We see both Denmark and France move their attempts. It looks like Stagakis is going all or nothing. He secured the podium anyway.
And the
jury's overruled it. That is a no lift for Norling, which means he, first of all, is vulnerable, but second of all, both other 2 lifters have used up their 2 changes. They cannot now move the weight, and I think, oh, they can change it because it was over. There is so much going on right now.
There's something going on.
Coco is hyped up, but they are allowed to change it now because of the overrule.
There's drama going on. There
is so much going on. Let me explain it to you now. Already, Stagakis and Clement have changed their attempts twice, but because the jury overruled, after they made those changes, they were allowed to rechange as if they had seen it before. So now both teams have dropped in order to push for the win. First up to do so, we have Regan Stegakis of Denmark, not just looking to pull into the win overall, but also for a World Junior deadlift record and total record. He really is going all or nothing.
Yep.
Either deadlift gold, gold overall, junior deadlift, junior total record.
Four very good reasons to pull that bar.
375 kilos on the bar. He's pulled 372.5 already in his lifetime.
Yeah, you can't doubt that guy. 4 good reasons to pull that bar. Regin Stargakis from Denmark going all out.
One final time and he gets it moving. He looks like he's almost completed, and no, just at the end there, he was so close. And how heartbreaking is that for Team Denmark? Look how close he got to that, and he really said all or nothing. Although he sat in silver again, if Clement misses this next lift, he ends up in 4th overall, off of the podium behind Mbassi. So even more so, this is all or nothing. Either Coco Clement is your new European champion, or he is off the podium altogether. 375 kilos. He didn't come out for the 370, meaning this is a 25 kilo jump, a 10 kilo personal best. He is your European champion, or he is medalist. Coco Clement of France, one final pull.
Redemption on the line for Corentin Clément. All or nothing. 375.
And he locks it out. That looks like a good lift to me. And 2-1 it is. Your new European champion, as long as the lift holds. I want to hold my breath. We saw Norling get stung before. We watched the replay. And the lift will remain. Coco Clement is your 2025 European Open Classic powerlifting champion in the 105s. And what an end to the competition, ladies and gentlemen. We promised drama, and we delivered. In bronze overall, Stegakis with 900 kilos. In silver, in a turn of events, Emil Norling with 912.5, and Coco Clement in gold.
Powerlifting at this point in my life means so much and so much more than I ever thought that it could.
It's really cool. We interact really well, and there's a lot of love.
Especially as a woman, you know, you feel very capable and strong. The years before this was, you know, a male-dominant sport. Females have come into the sport, and, you know, we're showing that we can be really strong and capable too. So that's a really good feeling.
It's not only something that I love to do as a sport, but it's so many friends, I've seen so many things, and I've had so many opportunities that I never ever dreamed I could have.
It's really cool to come to people from France or Italy or Germany or Japan, and we all have this commonality of wanting to be strong and better powerlifters, and it kind of brings us together.
Everything has to match, especially we, as physios or as coaches, we try to maximize what the athletes can perform in this time frame, and we try to give our best.
So they can do their best.
It's really cool that now I have friends in a community across the world, opposed to just like within my city. And like we get along great. I message them all the time on like Instagram or whatever the case may be, just like check in. The silver lining to it all, it teaches you to continue to work. It teaches you that there's still stuff to be done. It pushes you to be better, to do more. Sometimes if you're at the top, you can get complacent. And that's a wrap. Let's go see the competition.
seconds, medal ceremony in 30 seconds.
And very shortly we will welcome back the athletes for a very well-deserved medal ceremony for two incredible battles. What an end to the day with that 105 battle, back and forth, upsets. Every medal we see about to be presented is so well earned.
It was an eventful session, to say the least.
Yeah, it took us a minute to calm down for the medal ceremony. But here we are, we have the 93 kilo class about to receive their participation medals, as it doesn't just take a lot to earn individual medals and medals overall here, but just to get here, not only to the European Championships, but to the top 8 is quite a feat in itself.
And everyone, of course, gets a goodie bag from one of our other sponsors, ESN, our nutrition sponsor.
The medals are being given out by Xavier de Puiterac, the EPF treasurer, and Björn Astad, the EPF president.
We can see the 8 that just competed, as well as Kian Madden from Ireland there on the right, who managed to walk away with a medal from the B group. Already received his participation medal earlier.
Congratulations to our 93 kilo athletes, including the one who has made it through.
We will now see the individual medals presented before the overall.
Okay, so let's move to the individual lifts.
And first up, we will see the squat medals. In squat bronze, we have Christian Ayandokun from Great Britain with 305 kilos.
He had a difficult start in the squat event, ended up with a nice 305.
In silver from the B group, Kian Madden from Ireland with 307.5 kilos. A very difficult feat to get a medal from the B group, but did excellently to do so. And in gold with 310 kilos, Rico Biden of France.
He's been waiting for that third squat for a long time, and the moment he gets it, he also gets a gold medal.
Great job, gentlemen. Thank you. Merci bien. Thank you. And now to bench press.
We now move on to the bench press medals.
I'll just wait for Christian to get back to the line before I say that bench press.
And in bronze, we have Christian Ayandokun, Great Britain, 205 kilos.
This is cardio for powerlifters.
Had a great day out, forecasted ahead of everybody else, but kept pace with the pressure. In silver, Rico Biden from France, also with 205 kilos, just beating Christian on body weight. And in gold, we have Jakub Sedlacek from Czechia with 210 kilos.
Well done, gentlemen. Thank you. Amazing competition. Thank you so much.
And
now to
the
deadlift.
Deadlift medals. In bronze, we have Trygve Sletten from Norway, 335 kilos.
The 105s won't make us forget how great of a deadlift session that was.
Silver with 352.5 kilos.
In silver with 352.5 kilos. From Great Britain, Christian Ayandokun. As he said, what a deadlift battle it was.
Which means that deadlift gold.
And in deadlift gold, also from Great Britain, with 360 kilos, William Pickering.
I believe that's quite the PB for Will as well.
Yeah, new personal best of 360 for him. Crazy last pull.
And now for the overall medals in the 93 kilo class. Your bronze medalist in the 93 kilo class, Rico Baden, 850 kilos from France. for silver medalist
Overall,
overall, William
850
Pickering with
kilos,
850
Great Britain's
kilos,
Will
just
Pickering.
ahead on body weight from Great Britain.
Yeah, thanks to that last pull, he managed to grab that silver medal.
Which means that you're European champion 2025 in the 93 kilo class with 862.
And your European champion of 2025, we have Christian Ayandokan with a total of 862.5 kilos.
He well deserved first place. He cruised today. It was so good.
But he couldn't slip, and he didn't.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem. Great Britain.
And a very well deserved crown there for Ayandokan. As we see the 93s for the very last time, we will shortly invite the 105s on to receive their medals. And from one amazing battle to another, we re-invite on the 105 kilo lifters, which I think has to be the session of the championships.
It was one of the most anticipated, and it turned out to be probably the greatest. So eventful, many emotions, suspense, drama, everything you could expect at that level.
I think that's a good way to put it. Dramatic indeed, and it's going to be hard to top that for the rest of the week.
So many interesting storylines, the world record, some great improvements out of all lifters, some missed, some jury interventions, everything you could expect.
And like I said before, getting the participation medals, it's not just an amazing feat to get individual medals, overall medals, but to get here alone but into the top 8 is an incredible effort. And what a class this was. Every single medal earned. It's been a minute since I've seen such an exciting end to a session.
Yeah, the 105s are always nice to watch, but this one especially was a session to remember.
We now head into the individual medals and head to squats. In bronze we have Coco Clement of France with 330 kilos. And silver for Sweden's Emil Norling, 337.5 kilos.
Cover your ears, folks, because squat gold with 340
And now in
kilos
squat gold with 340 kilos, Spain's Antonio Barros. Fresh out the juniors, what a superstar he is.
Yeah, and he's still developing in the class, which is crazy. He has a bright future.
Thank you.
And now to the bench medals.
Taking bronze medal
In bronze
with 215 kilos.
with 215 kilos from Sweden we have Emil Norling.
Bench press silver with
In silver with 225 kilos, we have Regan Stagakis from Denmark.
Our only junior.
Important to remember, he's still a junior, still for another year.
Which is crazy.
And bench press gold with a new
And
world
of course,
record
in bench press gold with a new
Goes to
world
Switzerland.
record of 234 kilos, Switzerland's Vladimir Mbassi. And plenty left in the tank there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he increases in the near future.
Well done, gentlemen. Thank you. And now to deadlift.
And now to the deadlift medals.
In bronze
Which
medal
was
position with
the craziest
360
part
kilos
of the
from
flight.
Sweden, it's Emil Norling.
360 kilos from Sweden, Emil Norling in bronze. Not often we see Emil Norling not in the gold position for deadlifts.
Very true.
Deadlift silver with
362.5 kilos from Norway, Tony Johansen Amengwa. And your gold medalist in deadlift from France with 375 kilos. We have Coco Clement.
Coco Clement. Well done, gentlemen. Thank you.
And now for the overall, for probably what is the most dramatic session we've seen at a European for quite some time. In bronze medal overall with 900 kilo total, Regan Stagakis from Denmark. Just 3.5 kilos off of his junior world record total. Narrowly missing out on that final pull. An incredible day. Silver in a turn of events. 912.5 kilos. We have Sweden's Emil Norling, which is quite the upset. Still looking strong and healthy. But your 105 kilo European champion of 2025 from France with 920 kilos is Coco Clement.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of France.
The 105s, ladies and gentlemen, and what a deserving anthem it was. Battle of a lifetime. As we say goodbye to the athletes, we say goodbye to you at home. Thank you so much for joining, and until next time, we'll see you there.
As they follow our technical controller from the platform. Spotters and loaders, can you stay behind, please, and come to the platform? Spotters and loaders. Okay, spotters and loaders come to the platform. I believe we have a little token of our appreciation for all of you. Because, ladies and gentlemen, these guys and girls are top flight. They often have the power